Good morning, everyone. It's Wednesday, our Sturgis adventure. Today we've got all kinds of stops in mind. Right now we're on Vanocker Canyon Road, recommended by a local as a fun ride. We're on our way to visit a whole bunch of cool stuff. Okay, already I can highly recommend Vanocker Canyon Road. And it's not coming through the microphone, I'm sure, but all I hear is a big rumble ahead of me. And for once, this bike's just loud enough to add its own note to that. Meanwhile, got three Goldwings behind me, caught up. Word of advice: if you're traveling somewhere and want to find a good road, ask a local. This one didn't come up on any of the searches I found, but yeah, great. This would be so fun during a time of year that's not the rally. We're entering Nemo Road, which is another road that was recommended to me by a local, and also what Waze is recommending, so cool. Taking advantage of the all-you-can-eat biker breakfast, Evo Fire Department. Wow, KLR, 2 KLRs, wow. Didn't get to see like any of those out here. Amazing. Wow. Look at the scenery. It's pretty cool to be riding in a situation where motorcycles, not cars, are in the vast majority on the roads. Kind of hard for someone to make the claim, I didn't see the motorcycle, when, like the bumper stickers say, motorcycles are everywhere.
And then on to Mount Rushmore, which I have mixed feelings about. Yes, it's a historical site, very famous. We all learned about it in school. It's got the president's heads carved into it. And it's also on land that was stolen from the Lakota and other Native Americans to whom it was promised to be theirs in perpetuity until some general by the name of Custer and his exploratory party discovered gold there, and then all bets were off. If you do want to visit Mount Rushmore, during Bike Week is a pretty cool way to do it. They've got one of the entry lanes set aside specifically for motorcycles, and the lower floor of the parking garage is again set aside just for motorcycles, so your ride will be covered. After Mount Rushmore, it was time to ride Iron Mountain Road. This road has like 318 curves in 17 miles. It's got a bunch of switchbacks, it's got a bunch of hairpins, pigtails where the loop literally goes back over itself. It's pretty crazy. So of course, I wanted to try to ride it, and well, I did ride it.
Let the games begin. That's for sure.
that was when my technology issues hit yet again. So I decided, since I wasn't going to get the video anyway, proceed onward. And onward was into Custer State Park. And my intention there was to ride the wildlife loop. They've got all kinds of critters there. They've got buffalo, bighorn sheep, I mean, all kinds of stuff. And they're just roaming there. And the road just goes right through. So I was hoping to see me some buffalo. After all, I had named my motorcycle Buffalo Springfield because it's an Indian Springfield, and I wanted to see some buffalo in the park. Unfortunately, all we found was a pack of wild burros, and even these weren't really wild, as you can see from the pictures. Back in the day, the park had a herd of tame burros that they used for trail rides, but in the kinder, gentler times of the late 20th century, they decided to release them all to the wild because keeping animals in captivity was inhumane or something like that. But the other wild creatures, they wanted no part of Bike Week. Other than a single deer I saw on my way into the park, I didn't see anything. Beautiful scenery. Beautiful scenery, for sure. It was a very enjoyable ride and very scenic, and I'm glad I did it. But all the buffalo, bighorn sheep, all of the wildlife that I wanted there to see didn't want anything to do with the constant stream of loud motorcycles going through their territory all week. So I would recommend it's worth checking out whether you're there for Bike Week or any other time of year. But if you want to see some critters, do not go during Bike Week. Then it was on to Needles Highway, another one of those great roads I've heard all about before going to Sturgis, which is definitely on my must-ride list. And it was definitely challenging. It was fun. It wasn't quite as challenging as Iron Mountain Road. The scenery was quite different. They named it Needles Highway because of these rock spires that just looked like needles stretching up toward the sky. It's a very weird kind of geography. Fun road, but again, way too many bikes, way too much traffic. And especially at the Needles Eye. That is a tunnel that's blasted through solid rock. It's only one lane wide, so they have people there directing traffic through one direction at a time. I got stuck there for a good 10-15 minutes just waiting to get through. So once again, beautiful, beautiful ride, but I recommend either don't go during Bike Week, or if you do what Long Haul Paul did and go at like 6 in the morning when nobody else is there. Most of the other bikers out at Sturgis are still going to be hungover or drunk from the night before anyway. After Needles Highway, I wanted to head down to the Crazy Horse Memorial. It's a little out of the way, but since I visited Mount Rushmore, I wanted to go visit the Native American equivalent. Unfortunately, while I stopped to take a picture, the gas gauge on my Springfield dropped from 3/8 of a tank to 1/8 instantly. And I was out in the middle of nowhere, there were no gas stations, so I needed to get back to civilization. Of course, as I rode back towards Sturgis, the gas gauge started going back up again. So I really enjoyed the Springfield, but do not trust its gas gauge. Use the old-fashioned odometer instead. Would I go back? Probably not, at least not during Bike Week. I would definitely enjoy riding some of those same places again and others on a bike of my own choosing, something that would handle a little better, and not during Bike Week so there wouldn't be nearly as much traffic. I know several people do go there. One in particular told me he likes going 2 weeks after Bike Week because everybody's gone by then and everything's gone back to normal and it's nice and quiet. But I thoroughly enjoyed the experience and the opportunity to go check this out for myself. It's not my usual scene, and it's definitely not the usual scene of Ride Apart readers. There was even one comment asking specifically, why are we writing so much about Sturgis? Nobody cares. Well, nobody who reads Ride Apart at least. But it's definitely a huge part of motorcycle culture, whether it's an aspect that you're into or not. So it was well worth checking out. Huge thanks again to South Dakota Tourism and the Buffalo Chip for hooking me up while I was there, as well as Indian for hooking me up with the bike. I am in the process of getting my new helmet set up with a completely different camera and microphone setup, so we'll be going back to the usual thing here pretty soon on the KLR. And well, the PC800 still hasn't sold, so there's a chance you might see that again too. Until next time, keep the rubber side down.
One day the guy on the buffalo was cruising around through the plains, seen a bear, and he thought to himself, oh man, I gotta get away from the bear. Hope he don't chase, oh no, he's gonna chase me. Oh no, I better just turn around and chase him